Okay, so if we look at the left-hand one as kind of the before sort of movement, okay? Even in your practice swing, you sort of see your arms kind of like pinching out there a little bit, almost trying to get this locked arm. So once the arms start creating kind of this movement here now, you just grip into it. You look as if exactly. Okay. Your arms won't just hang from the shoulders. Really, sort of, they move in from the width of the shoulders to where your hands on the club are. Pretty much a sort of a straight line, not locking the arms and elbows sort of pinching together, but at the same time we want to splay them out, okay? But as a movement, you get to about here, and you can almost see here now that you actually sort of, rather than turning, there's a bit of a drop to your left side there, and from here now, your right shoulder doesn't really move at all, just a lift of the arms up there, and that's kind of your, this is obviously in the practice swing, okay? But even when the real swing comes together, okay? Setup-wise, I say it's pretty good. Could get maybe a little bit more on that right side, but not much. We're favoring a good sort of general start point there. And you can even see how before that club starts from here now, the act of lifting that club up is taking your shoulder up here and moving your torso out that way. So as you go back here now, there, you start sort of lifting and
chopping.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Now again, with a 9-iron or a 7, I suppose, might be a threshold, but 9 or a wedge, certainly, you'd probably be okay with that. Because look at a 9-iron, okay? Or a wedge, it's a accuracy club, so it doesn't really require as much power. Okay, so the lack of turn wouldn't affect it. And it's a club that requires a sort of steeper angle of attack, so this chopping wouldn't affect it. A driver needs power, needs speed, and needs a slightly more shallow angle of attack rather than that. So if you're thinking, again, trying to remember things going forward, if you start hitting your short arms really well and your driver's a bit of a meh, you're probably getting a little bit of that steeper chopping. On the flip side of that, if you're flushing your driver and you can't get a 9-iron to there, you're probably too shallow and just thinning your irons and stuff. So you kind of work things out as you go along, and you become more aware of kind of the physics of your own golf swing. But certainly the top of your backswing there now, as we can see, I sort of chop it up, Mr. Frame there. There we go. Compared to this is the practice swing, okay, which was really good, to be fair. You can see your right one now disappear behind your head there. That's a much fuller backswing. Your spine angle there now is in that tilted position. You're behind the ball. So now then shift. You can see your hip shift now as you come back down using that yellow line, I know, okay, that's fine. You look at this one here now, as you go back, that yellow line just behind your head. And you actually stay on there, to be fair. So although you haven't moved behind the ball, you haven't moved towards target, and your right shoulder now, as we said, has disappeared. So your right arm is behind your head a lot more. You're creating a lot more power. So now as you come back to the golf ball, you've got that whip to go through and get that club head speed back. There are a couple of times you finished a bit this way with that right foot. Just because with the old movement where you were leaning this way to hit the golf ball, you had to then go back that way. So your weight was used to kind of hanging back on that right thing, so you're leaning back there a little bit, quite a bit, aren't you? And then the right foot's going to kind of have to support that. So that, I think, over time will just kind of almost remedy itself.
So which?
Well, your right foot would be a bit more. If you think your right foot really, when you finish the swing, would be a bit more there rather.
I see what you mean.
It's just a bit more crease on the toes. You have it. I mean,
sorry, I thought you meant I shouldn't have it there.
Yeah, I mean, no, definitely. But just. The crease in terms of your shoes there, you can see there's a bit of a crease there. Whereas if my toe was like that means there's not much weight. Exactly. If the toe is creased, exactly, If there's a crease in the toe, it means you're probably leaning back. Not that you have to try and change your footwork, but the body movement will change that. So I wouldn't necessarily, I'm sort of showcase, exactly. I'm just showcasing what was happening, okay? I wouldn't necessarily worry about it, because as you swing and finish the swing, you can see there where you finished there, that's better than that leaning back there, just from the pressure on your lower back as well. If you just stand there and do that, it just hurts. If you get into a follow through position on your toe there, and then just start leaning back,
it's just squishing it all the time.
And then your toe starts cramping down here, and now you're like, ugh. So from a physical standpoint, it's no good. So trying to get the sensation, like I say, in a simplistic way to think about it, when the club is going that way. This way, the body, the weight is shifting that way. When the club is then going that way, the body, the shift, and the weight is going towards target. So it's just getting things again more in sync. And again, I think you've had a couple, that last hybrid, and you had one or two drives. that have gone over the 150, the 165, and then the
Yeah,
133. But the ones that you hit in 135, 140 will just miss hits
Yeah.
because you're just changing your body position and where the club is. So
So
you're not
that's
quite finding your
Well, we
strike,
have
but
to
you're
do
good
one-
enough to
yeah.
realise where strike is, and with a bit of
Yeah.
practice, you'll just
Yeah,
find that.
you'll
you'll
get
find.
there.
So yeah, but yeah, the
Okay.
sensation of moving that body better.
Okay.
This left shoulder, as we said, has to get behind the golf ball. If you tilt this way in the backswing,
Yeah, you
when we go back and you're leaning that way too much, so your spine angle is that way, you're going to come down very steep.
Okay.
Great with your shorter iron. I'm not suggesting we have two different swings.
No,
I'm just
I
saying
know
that
that, yeah, but
this swing
just-
now you're doing, you're still making contact with the ground with the hybrid, so your
Yeah.
9-9 still would be good.
Yeah.
But I'm saying certain clubs have a characteristic, should we say,
Okay.
steeper with the shorter irons, shallower with the longer clubs. Okay, so
Yeah.
makes sense.
Perfect. Thank you very
Excellent.
much
Good.